Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Beorning, and today we are going to head out and take care of the boss spider, Beorning. Now, I was wondering what I'm going to do about this series, and I've finally made a decision on that, and that is that I'm going to be doing an emphasis on the epic storyline. This is the first time that I've been going to be doing the full epic story with a non-warden. All my previous run-throughs of the full epic storyline have always been with wardens, so therefore that's what's going to be new about this. Attempting a new class through that. In that in other classes I've always skipped some aspects of the storyline somewhere. Now, my rule on running this is I'll still be doing side quests as I see fit, but I do want to do the epic storyline as near on level as possible. So therefore, my rule is going to be then that if I'm in a situation where I might be threatening to level past the current point in the epic storyline, then I'll be using the Stone of the Tortoise, and that's the only time I'll be using that is when I'm threatening to go over the level of it. So that means that's why right now I'm running with the Stone of the Tortoise. Now I probably wouldn't have done that if they hadn't dropped the price of the stone, because I have two other characters that have it. One is the Runekeeper that I did my previous series on, and one other character. And that was back when it was a fairly expensive item. I believe 500 or 495, 500, somewhere in that range. So therefore, the current 100 price range, though, I think, is an incentive to use that in order to stay within level range for it. Because last time I did a character that ran through the full epic storyline, using in as close to on level as possible. The last time I did that, I didn't have the Stone of the Tortoise available, so therefore I basically said is I couldn't do a quest if that quest could have possibly put me over past the range for the epic storyline. So therefore, now at least I have the solution of the Stone of the Tortoise, so I can do it without having to worry about skipping side quests and stuff like that, because it's nice to be able to do those quests without having to worry about going over and trivializing the epic storyline. As I said, I've never done the full storyline with any class but the Warden. I've done it. It's either 2 or 3 times with the Warden so far. So I know I've done it with my main character, and I know that I did it on my Laurelin character, which is the one that had that rule about the epic storyline. But I think I might have done it on another one also. Hard to keep up with that sometimes. I'll just have to see which characters have the portrait at the end of Volume 1. Alright, let's see what we have here. And here's the boss spider. Anyway, the next epic story point is at level 8, so that's why I've turned off experience, since I want to make sure I don't accidentally go over level 8, and when you're low level, it's very easy to mess up and not notice that you're creeping close to it, and it's hard to calculate how much experience you need before you're going to hit the next level. Now let's see, what else do I have? Okay, I still need to get the toolbox, so I am going to go out this way, which leads us into the farm area, and the farm area is pretty close to the toolbox. So I'll come out this way. And here we are in Springley's farm. And we just head this way and take care of the box. So I usually don't go in that way when I'm doing the quest because I think Archit is a lot closer to the other entrance. But going out this way after killing the boss spider makes things a lot easier. Alright. And this boar really has a range of attack that's quite large. I think this wolf is also going to be annoying, so we'll get that one out of the way and grab the toolbox. And there we are, both quests done. And mount up. Now one of the tricky things when you are choosing a mount is get one that fits on the colors a bit. I don't think this one's quite perfect. The one with the best colors would be probably the festival one, but I don't know, it just doesn't look like it'll fit a Beorning because it's a bit of a tablecloth horse. And not as bad as most of the other tablecloth horses, but it's certainly overdone for Beorning because I think the Beorning is more of a rugged outdoor type, and tablecloth horses do not work in my opinion with rugged outdoor types. Alright, here's the toolbox.
How can I be of service?
You have my thanks, Pineclaw. Now, Bourne and I can get to work rebuilding the town. Take these coins for your trouble. 90 copper. Whoop-de-doo. Oh.
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
And supplies in Archit are limited and will certainly not suffice to repair the damage wrought upon the village. Now that I have my tools, I will be able to begin shoring the fences and repairing the buildings as I can. Archit will need more lumber if it is to recover completely from the attack. If you find yourself in Combe, to the south seek out Taylor Green and let him know that I will need another order of wood from the lumberyard. If you've not been there before, listen well. Oh, yeah. That's just giving directions. And while I recommend following the directions that they give, if you've done the quest as many times as I have, you already know where the lumberyard is at.
Well met.
Many seas did the dread weaver sow throughout the mountains. Because of you, another of these seas has passed from the world. I owe you a great debt for Earnit's death and for my life. Accept this reward, and with it, the friendship of Otley Spider-bane. And let's see what we have here. Alright, medium armor with vitality. That's always good to have. And that takes care of that. So we are going to head out to Taylor Green, and I think it's a good time to... Oh, I should put a hotbar to switch between those two. And there we go. So let's head out. Take care of Taylor Green.
Hello, friend.
I gotta decide
you
what to
help me
do
with
concerning crafting. Now, with the Beorning so far, what I've done for crafting is weaponsmithing. I would create my weapons essentially so that I could create throwing axes. I really haven't been using those throwing axes all that much, though, despite the fact that I went through and did that. Rather complicated route I'm taking here to avoid having to fight everything along the way as I'm moving across. And yes, that boar decides to attack me again. Silly boar! And we come here. So now I gotta decide which vocation I'll be doing. First, let's
What can I do for
talk
you?
to the stable master. And, oh yes, don't forget to update the milestone if you want that milestone. I've had plenty of times where I've wanted to get back and I find myself in Archet instead of Combe or Bury. Or even worse, I'm trying to get to Mickle Delving and I find myself in Little Delving when I'm playing a Hobbit.
Greetings, friend.
Thank goodness you've arrived, and just in time.
Hello, friend. Could you help me with something?
An unusual horse arrived in the stable here down at the end, and I have no time to help it settle into its new stall. I need to tend to these other horses or the stable master will have my head. Will you please help me tend to the horse's stall and make sure that everything he needs? For new horses, I usually check the bedding for freshness and the trough for grain, and oh yeah, make sure there's plenty of water too. Alright. Now I just saw how much experience I jumped up when I turned in that quest, so I better go back. Actually, no. We will do the horse after we talk to this guy. And let's see what we have. And we speak to Torden. Wait. Let's talk to her first, aren't I? Yes, I am supposed to talk to her. Hello there. Oh, sorry about that.
How can I be of service?
Oh my! Look here! A real live hero! It's not often we get such respectable folk through here. How my tongue runs on. Toradun told me to send you upstairs to his room as soon as you arrived. The stairs are... Yes, I know where the stairs are at least. Seeing how I went up them already, because I got the quest wrong. And here's Toradun's room. Hello there.
How can I be of service?
Ah, John does not disappoint. You do seem to be the heroic sort, and of the line of Beorn, unless I am mistaken. I must take care to hide my movements, and I could use your help. I dared not betray my whereabouts to just anyone. There is much we need to discuss. Will you hear me? So you can see occasionally they are still putting in little points that are driven by the class rather than the generic stuff.
Stay a moment.
Thank you for your aid, Pineclaw. My kindred and I are driven from the bounds of the Shire by the Nazgul of Mordor. They pursued us eastward and slew many of us. It was my goal to join Andir, but I have heard rumor of his fate in Archet. They say he was stabbed by a Morgul knife and led off by some evil men, the ones who lent the Black Wolves aid. There are few left now with power over such wounds, and those that I know of dwell some distance from here. We must find Amdir, and quickly, if we are to save him. He is likely being helped in the Black Wolves somewhere in the Chetwood. We must find a way to enter their lair and free him. But first, we must find them. Speak with Constable Underhill. He may be of help. You can usually find him outside near the Combe and Wattle. Once you have learned of the Black Wolf's lair and believe you can gain entry, return to me. Hurry, before it is too late. Alright. Now, that really put me in... Okay, I really should put some quick bars for this, because if I'm going to be jumping back and forth between these two, I should have one of these for that, and one of these for that. And there we go. Now we can handle this. I know it's an epic thing that I'm going to be talking to Underhill about, but if he sends me to another 8, I just want to make sure that I don't go over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do well, we'll see how far these things go.
How do you do?
Torden sent you, did he? The Hobbit lowers his voice. This is still a Blackwood agent in town. We think he's trying to rebuild the band from amongst the local ruffians and bullies. We need proof, though. A letter or parchment will do, if it came from the agent himself. Many of the brigands hole up in the Chetwood. Follow the road east until you come to the guardhouse, where Constable Wren is stationed. From there, head north and look for the brigands' watchfires scattered throughout the woods. Search their packs for signs of their summons. Let me know right away if you find anything. We need to know what they're up to. Alright, so we need to find a recruiter's pack. And this is still level 8. Because I'm not too sure I've ever done this quest at level 8 before. So this is going to be interesting. But I will pick up these others.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me?
Essentially, pardon me, do you think I could take up some of your time? I haven't had any words with my son Connell since this brigand nonsense began, and I'm mighty scared that he got caught up in some trouble. We lived in Archet till recently, but we had an argument. I'm sure you know how boys are. And Colville left all in a huff. He said he will make his own way down in Combe, and that's the last I heard of him. Now that I've come to Combe, I hear he's gone east. If you don't mind, could you talk to Constable Wren for me? She watches the road east of Combe, and maybe she'll know where Colville passed. Alright, so...
Would you do something for me?
Alright. And she wants me to find a fishing pole. That's enough to... And also to talk to Constable Wren. So there's a bit of talk with Constable Wren here. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, yes. So we have some...
Would you do something for me?
Yes, after the initial raids, our folk began fleeing in the villages like Archet and Staddle, and the Blackwolves found they could no longer rely only upon raids to support themselves. They seized old Barman's farm and began tilling the soil, though badly and without care for the land. The brigands in the farm must be under the supervision of some Blackwold leader, or else they would fall into laziness. If you confront the Blackwold leader at the farm, you might be able to recover some of the valuables they have stolen. Old Ballman's farm is deep in the Chetwood. That's a level 9 quest.
Like to take a moment of your time.
The Blackwold brigands are up on the run, no question about it. They are trying to regroup in camps throughout the Chetwood, but they suffered a real defeat at Archet. So therefore to collect a lockbox from them. Alright. And...
I'm sure it will do no good, but
I gotta
may
read
I
this one.
speak with you?
Me old dad was a robber some years back and got his hands on a good deal of riches, as I hear it. Constable caught him, and afore he was hanged, me dad told me where he buried his loot. I never needed it afore now, but I was content to leave it buried. But I figured it's time to get my hands on wealth enough to keep you warm and shod, as my dear dad called it. And can you take this pickaxe and dig the treasure up? Just take the road east from Combe and Constable Wren's post, by the guardhouse, climb up the hill to the right, and walk down the riverbank, where you'll find the hanging tree, and it'll have an X carved right on it. You'll be helping me to start a new things life, and you'll have me everlasting things. Thank you. And so I need to find the hanging tree. So now we have a nice number of quests. I'll sort through my quest backlog to see which ones to give priority to, and choose a vocation, and that'll be in our next episode of Pineleaf Plays the Beorning.